We are launching a new franchise strategy for the Sonic brand that will introduce a fresh, updated look, new play pattern, and more prominent roles for supporting characters. This complete update of the brand will start with the brand's first ever CG animated television series Sonic Boom, and video game releases from developer Big Red Button for Wii U and Sanzao for 3DS in collaboration with Sonic TV. In first for the brand, the TV series, video game and toy will operate in harmony with one another, with storyline and play patterns replicated across all pillars.
My first memory of Sonic was being introduced to the video game industry in my first job back in 1994. Since I wanted to dive in and understand what are the best games for that era, they gave me Sonic 1 and I was hooked. And I just fell in love with it, and the graphics, the game was very compelling, and I think that's probably what led me to eventually go on to work at Naughty Dog.
First Sonic game that I played was the original, Sonic the Hedgehog. My friend got a Genesis. You know, right away you could tell that Sonic was different because he did this thing where if you stopped playing for too long, he would tap his foot impatiently like, come on, you know, get back to work. And this was 1991. This was the era of 16-bit games. Nobody was doing stuff in games that had this much character and personality, so it just made a huge impression on me.
One of my earliest memories of Sonic is probably the first time I saw it at a friend's house. And I entered the living room and the first thing I saw was the Sega Genesis, which was already amazing to me. And then he pulled out Sonic the Hedgehog, the original Sonic the Hedgehog, and he popped that in. And from the very first title screen to jumping in the first level, I was blown away. So even to this day, despite, you know, numerous years since then, I can still remember that morning very vividly and playing Sonic the Hedgehog for the very first time.
So the things that we updated for the character were certainly the look. To me, as a character designer, there's something that we call the lint in your pocket, which is the sense of detail of the character, and those little touches really add up to tell the story of what the character is. For example, the sport tape that I thought is a good example of showing how active the character is and shows how fast these guys are moving.
And he has sort of a neckerchief now, which is sort of an homage to that adventure element, right? It's a very classic sort of theme. And adding it to Sonic really shows that he's a character that's got a get up and go attitude. He's not afraid to just go on any sort of adventure that he wants to. And we're going to focus also just not on Sonic, but also on his teammates of Amy, Knuckles, and Tails. Obviously Tails is the gadget guy of the team, and we really wanted to emphasize that. So now obviously he's got his belt to really show his gadgets, and he's got his aviation goggles to reinforce the fact that he's the team's pilot as well. He still has that brotherly sort of relationship with Sonic, but he's not afraid to tell Sonic that he's wrong whenever that happens. There's actually quite a few changes in Amy. She's that strong, sort of independent personality now. She still has that hammer, and she's actually very confident in combat, and she's actually pretty powerful when she's swinging that thing around. Knuckles is probably the largest change as far as the characters of our roster. He's much larger now, he's quite a bit more muscular, and that was important to us. You know, he's the strong guy of the team. He's the one that's going to smash through rocks. And we really wanted to emphasize that strength of his.
Knuckles, Amy, and Tails are a lot stronger in terms of their abilities and personality. It was very important for us to make sure that as a cooperative game, that you don't feel like if you were the first to race to the controls, you select Sonic, your little brother's like, oh man, I didn't get to play Sonic. But we want to make sure that it was a very equal experience, that all the other characters had a chance to really bring their personalities out, and that kind of personality reflects in the gameplay and their narrative and what they're looking for as well.
Speed is an important component. We're going to do a few little twists on that to try to surprise fans. But building upon that in general, it's a return of Sonic to the action-adventure genre, which is something he hasn't really done in a while. So we're taking him back there. And we're going to really focus on this living, breathing world.
This place has been around for some time. There's been a history here that things have evolved, and Sonic and his friends are the accidental tourist.
新しい、ソニックブームの、ビデオゲームですけども、今までの、スピードをベースにしていた、モダンソニックのアクションゲームと違って、ストーリーベースでアクションアドベンチャーとしての、魅力が、出せてると思うので、今までのソニックとは違った感覚でストーリーや物語、その世界観などをこう楽しみながら進んでいくっていう魅力が出せてるんじゃないかなと思います。 モダンソニックは、従来通りですね、アクション、ビデオゲームを中心とした、アクションの、キャラクターとして、この今回のソニックブームというフランチャイズとは、並行して、これからも続けていくつもりです。
Teamwork plays a very crucial role in this game. It goes through the whole design of the project. It trickles down into the moment-to-moment gameplay. So really in this case, Sonic is stronger with his friends, and we can't wait until players get a hold of it and actually see what that means for themselves.
Whoa, I sound like a fortune cookie. But I don't taste like one.
The TV series is, first and foremost, it's a comedy. Because it's Sonic, it's got a lot of action in it. But we really set out to make a comedy.
And we're trying to do it in a very smart, sophisticated way. So we're not writing down to our audience. We're really trying to address our audience as the smart people who are coming to watch a really fun show.
Wait a minute, there are multiple Knuckleses in this dimension? That could cause some kind of catastrophic anomaly. I do not want a dimensional explosion in my lab. I just had the floors waxed.
Well, actually, the reason alternate dimension Knuckles is here is that alternate dimension Eggman shot him with lasers from alternate dimension Octopus Bot.
That's so alternate dimension me.
Any chance we could borrow your lasers so Tails can send this guy back and prevent the destruction of pretty much everything?
Sure. You should have just asked me in the first place. But I need him back by Thursday. I'm gonna attack. I mean, I'm having a party.
元々のソニックの世界観のファンにも受け入れられやすいように、元の世界を基本にしつつ新しいフューチャーを入れることによって、そのアクションコメディとしてテレビアニメーションシリーズが成功するように、こういろんなソニックのフューチャーをこう取り入れながら一緒に、新しいシリーズを作っています。
Know what? Let's head to the canyon and hang out under that giant boulder on the cliff.
I don't know. That boulder's ready to fall. If we're under it, we'll be crushed.
Then my delicious whipped cream filling will shoot out like toothpaste. I'm in.
Every one of these cartoons is like a mini epic.
It's not a situation where we're going to have this premise and we're just going to keep doing it over and over and over and then finish it out. There are always plot twists because that's where my experience comes from. I come from a background of The Simpsons and Pee-wee's Playhouse where we always built on what we were doing. So we always tried to have a very sophisticated storytelling.
そのソニックを取り巻くみんなの環境、その生活とか、そのサブキャラクターのこう織りなす魅力とか、そういうのがなかなかゲームの世界だけでは出せなかったところがあるんですけども、今回のテレビアニメーションシリーズではこう単にアクションだけではなくて、そういうキャラクターたちのユーモアとか、それとエッグマンが、登場してきて、そのエッグマンと織りなす、単に戦いだけではない新しいこうユーモアのある、ドラマが、展開されているので、そういった面でそのアクションコメディというお話がすごく私の中では気に入ってます。
It all ends here, old friend. Prepare to be destroyed by Burnbot.
So what, he's gonna burn me with flamethrowers or something?
Flamethrower? No.
Oh, acid? Incendiary grenades?
No. The claws. Yes, claws. Very painful claws.
Well, then you should have called him Clawbot or Delacerator or Pinjatron 9000, but Burnbot. I mean, that's just false advertising.
I named the robot Sonic. Burnbot, attack! Look out for the new Sonic Boom coming soon!